This is why your outfits still feel low level, even though you have fire pieces. Fashion is like a video game. When you are really tapped into dressing and what makes a good outfit, when you see someone wearing a good outfit, it's like they're a video game character who just has a lot better like loot and items and weapons than you. Well, today, fashion is a video game, and we are going to be talking about how you can make your outfits look like you are super high level, like you are a boss, and we're going to be talking about why you might have really cool high level items, but they might still look low level. I'm sorry to tell you this, buddy, but you might have rushed your town hall. So we're going to imagine that the town hall is a jacket, and all of the other like little bases, those are all the different aspects of the outfit. And how high level they are isn't how expensive the garments is, but how high level each little armament is. That's how specific the garment is. So basically, if you have a really high level town hall, that means a jacket or like a top that is really specific, probably a statement piece. So statement pieces are one of those things that you don't even have when you are, before you're into fashion. Once you get into fashion, that's when you get statement pieces. However, most beginners, they mess up. They rush their town hall. They feel like they're progressing every time their town hall progresses, so the instinct is to just upgrade the town hall a whole bunch and get a really nice statement piece jacket. However, if you don't have the specific pieces to complement that jacket, let's say garments with the specific color scheme, garments with specific cuts, maybe you need pants with a specific silhouette. If you don't have those things, you're not going to be able to style this jacket. If you rush your town hall, basically, you're kind of screwing yourself. So most people who play Clash of Clans know that it's a bad thing to do. However, most people who are just getting into Clash of Clans don't know that that's a bad thing to do. So that's why I'm telling you, you need to have your whole entire wardrobe be at a certain level before you can style, pieces that are of a much higher level. So let's say that the inventory is, your outfit, right? And then the chest is your wardrobe. If you have your cool pieces mixed in with tons of like not cool pieces, then like you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot. Now, I am not talking about this in the same way as I was talking about the last one. I think most people have way more pieces than they would like to admit that they never wear. All the clutter and all the gray loot, you own that stuff. However, the reason that most people keep it is lots of times it has some sort of sentimental value. Let's say, the sweatshirts you got from, your experience at high school. Or let's say you went on some road trip and your family got you a t-shirt that signifies the vacation. Maybe you don't want to throw that away, but you don't necessarily want to be wearing it. So what you need to do is, just like in Minecraft, when you make a house and you fill the chest and you put all your junk in there, you need to do the same. You need to go through your wardrobe, pick out all the pieces that aren't cool. I'm not saying stuff that is lame. No. Anything that isn't cool, anything that you don't think is like above average you would want to wear, you're going to put all that stuff in boxes and you're going to want to put it away, and then you're going to want to, shorten down your wardrobe so it is just the stuff that you think is really cool. You still have all the clutter. You can still go back and get it, but it needs to be separate. Your diamonds cannot be mixed with your clutter chest. It just can't happen. If you have the best guns and the best weapons and the best mobility, that's going to make you want to push. However, if your outfit is being held down by one thing, it doesn't even need to be the main thing. You might be using your AR a lot more. Like, let's say you have a really nice outfit, but you have a really bunk pair of shoes, a pair of shoes that does not go with it all. Let's say you got super into fashion, but you just didn't get super into footwear because it's like the last thing that you think of an outfit. That will actually ruin your outfit because people will be looking at it and then they will get down to the shoes and they'll see that they're not cohesive with the outfit at all. In Fortnite, when you're playing, you're probably going to be doing a lot of damage from a distance with your AR. However, when you get up close and personal, that shotgun is extremely pivotal. You might hit your shots, but because it was gray, you didn't do enough damage to get the elimination, and that costs you the match. And let's say your outfit is that interaction, you need to have, everything be on at least somewhat of a similar level, or else people are just going to be focusing on the one thing that isn't on that level, and it's going to take away from the entire outfit. Because instead of people thinking about how you have a good outfit, they're just thinking about how your shoes aren't as good as the rest of the things that you're wearing. That was just one example. Another one is pants. I think people will get like really cool shoes, really cool jackets, graphic t-shirt, and they'll just have really low quality pants. They'll maybe get some like baggy jeans from like some sort of fast fashion store, or just some pants that maybe don't fit them, and they don't understand how much it ruins the entire outfit, and people think it's gaudy. Even if they don't really like know that something is wrong with the outfit, it'll mess up the proportions and the silhouette will just look wrong, and it'll be one of those things that even a layman who doesn't understand fashion, they understand silhouettes and proportions, and they will see that there's something wrong with it. That was a perfect segue into aim train but no game sense. You might think that just because these games have guns that aiming is the most important thing, and it might be so important that it eclipses everything else, and all you should worry about is getting really good at aiming. But then when you actually go and play the game, you realize that you get eliminated a lot, because a lot of the times what really comes down to it is game sense, which isn't your aiming. What do I mean by this in a fashion sense? Well, just like I said, people get really into the items that they're buying and maybe not the entire look. People might get really into one specific thing, like one specific choice when it comes to buying a garment, but they might not be so much into style. And a lot of people, when they just start getting into fashion, they might have like really good fashion sense, but they don't have very good style because they don't have like an actual ability to put that into an outfit. And what happens a lot is people get really into graphics. When people get into fashion, they look at the outfit and they think, wow, okay, what is my eyes being drawn to? And it's always the graphic on the t-shirt. So then they go out and they buy super expensive graphics. There's a huge culture around like affliction style t-shirts. People get into buying these graphic t-shirts, but then they don't understand what aspects of the outfit need to be like upgraded or adjusted to match that specific thing. For example, people will wear a size small, a size medium, a size large, a size extra large t-shirt, but they won't have any conceptualization of what jeans would need to go with every single individual shirt. They don't understand what cuts need to go with certain lengths of shirts. All they're thinking about is, the graphic on the t-shirt. So that is why you cannot just aim train. You need to get game sense. You need to play the game, and you need to learn how to style outfits. The best way to get better at having game sense instead of just aim training from a fashion perspective is wearing outfits that don't have any graphics. Just wear only white and black t-shirts. See what things you inevitably need to do to upgrade your outfits to make them better, and then when you bring that back to your outfits that have graphics in them, they're going to be way better than they ever were before. People who are really into playing a video game and they actually want the culture of the game to, succeed and, continue on, they're not going to be toxic. They're going to help out players who are at a lower level, and fashion is the same thing. People who put down others and people who spend the most time hating on others' fashion, it's because they're insecure about their own fashion and they don't have the ability to, have self-control from not putting down someone who's clearly more of a beginner than them. So if you are really trying to get better at fashion, try helping others, because once you eliminate this wrong ideation that everybody is judging you and everybody thinks that you're worse, that's how you can be better, because you can push yourself to further experiment. And the way that you can start that is by you not judging others, and by you helping others, and by you, giving tips to those who are just starting out. So that one's kind of a tip, kind of not, but I feel like it's very true. And I feel like toxicity, it has to do with any hobby, and especially video games, because you're anonymous, but really in any hobby, there will be people who feel like they're above you and they will try and put you down. Thank you for watching my entire video. You made it to the end, so you clearly like this video, so hit a button to show me that. Hit that like button. If you want to see more fashion content, the subscribe button will greet you down below. I am selling clothing on my Depop. There is a link down below at the beginning of the description. I sell clothes for really low values, like very small increments on how much profit I'll actually be making. And I'm also open to offers. So check out my Depop if you're trying to get some cheap budget fashion. And yeah, if you want to see more, content relating to this, if you want to see more content like this, maybe comment down below something that you want me to make a video on. Thank you so much for watching this video. It really means a lot to me. I hope I was able to help you out a little bit. And yeah, peace.